Hi guys, I'm Austin. Welcome back to my channel. Today I just wanted to hop on and talk a little bit about my fertilizer mix. Over the last 2 months, give or take, I've switched up my fertilizer mix specifically for my anthuriums to really promote growth. But I've been kind of using that across the board, and I've seen a lot of really good progress when it comes to leaf sizing up, growth rate, and just overall plant healthiness. So let's get into it. For me, watering for my indoor plants takes place every Monday night. I get home from work, take a few minutes to relax, and then get straight into it. It's usually about a 2 to 3 hour process, just with moving everybody around and getting the water pH adjusted from there. I have about 6 of these gallon jugs that I fill up all at once. We pH adjust, we go from there so that everything is ready. And I use about all 6 gallons of that just for my indoor plants. My outdoor plants typically don't get fertilized as often, and I honestly should keep up with that a lot more. They get neglected a little bit more than they should. I definitely need to get on a better schedule when it comes to watering them, but that's something that we'll attack later on. Like I said, this fertilizer mix is really focused on sizing my anthuriums up, providing them with enough nutrients to really, grow healthy roots, size up, and really put out some strong inflorescence. Ideally, I would love to start hybridizing my anthurium. I don't think I have many that are at that point to be ready to breed yet, but we're gonna push everybody to the max to get them there as soon as possible. So first step of my fertilizer mix is gonna be this GrowTech GrowSilic. It produces silica, and more specifically monosilicic acid, for my anthurium. Biggest pro with the GrowSilic is, like I said, the monosilicic acid. That helps give the plants a lot more rigidity to their cell walls. I'm pretty sure it also helps with an aerated environment or like a lower humidity environment. It helps the leaves stay moist longer. I usually use about 0.66 milliliters per gallon. The website measures it out as 1/4 of a teaspoon per 2 gallons. And of course I have gallon jugs, so you got to cut that in half. So yeah, biggest con with the silica is that you have to wait 30 minutes before applying any other nutrient into your mix. Why? I have no idea. Nick from NXC Plants and a lot of other sites online can give you a lot more information on that. I really just got most of this mix from them. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's just the waiting factor. So that's step 1, is to add my GrowSilic. Step 2 is going to be adding a tablespoon of General Hydroponics CalMag. If you're following along with my fertilizer mix, which I doubt anyone is, but if you are, the brand really doesn't matter. I went with these brands because it was the easiest and most readily available that I could find. The only one I was really specific with was the GrowSilic, just because I'm not sure where else I can find that. But like I said, I use about a tablespoon of CalMag per gallon. What the CalMag does is it actually enhances the nutrient uptake from the roots to the plant. It'll really support photosynthesis and just overall helps the plant get more nutrients from the fertilizer mix into the plant. Now, in between steps 1 and 2, a lot of other growers recommend pH adjusting the mix down to a 7. What I've been experimenting with over the last few months is just leaving it in pH adjusting afterwards. Not sure if that negatively impacts what I grow here, but there may be a time where I kind of experiment a little bit more and play around with it, but for now I'm going to stick with what works. So typically, like I said, we'll wait 30 minutes after the GrowSilic gets put in, and then once that 30 minutes is up, the CalMag goes in along with everything else. In between each step, I'm capping them off, giving them a quick shake, and going from there. Not really doing a whole big process when it comes to stirring and incorporating the full ingredients. Steps 3, 4, and 5 are all the 3-part fertilizers from General Hydroponics. First is the flow micro is super important because it really helps create a healthy microbiome of nutrients in your soil. This is the first part of that 3-part to be put in. The other 2 can kind of be put in either way, but it's super crucial that this gets put in first. Why? I don't know. That's just what General Hydroponics says and they recommend. I use 1/4 of a tablespoon of each into my nutrient mix. Same thing. Once I put 1/4 in, I'll cap it off, give it a shake, and go from there. Part 4 is going to be the Flora Grow out of the mix. I use, like I said, 1/4 of a tablespoon of this. The Flora Grow really helps encourage leaf sizing as well as healthy root growth. This is going to be like your basic, run-of-the-mill fertilizer, and everything else is kind of a part off of that. The last part is going to be this Flora Bloom. The Flora Bloom is exactly very self-explanatory. It's focused specifically on helping the plants drive a lot of energy towards blooms. So for my anthurium that are in a climate-controlled environment, flowering year-round, it really helps them produce healthy inflorescence. And hopefully once I have a lot more that are flowering and can crossbreed some stuff, it'll really help with the overall berry health and just seed longevity from there. Now, sometimes if I run out of my mix and I just have a few aeroids left, what I'll do is I'll use this Rousseau aeroid food. This is what I used before I started making my own fertilizer mix, and I saw, some decent growth from my plants with this. It's what I use on my plants at my office. But I've seen a huge boost in growth from switching over to making my own mix. So this is a great starter, but I definitely would recommend getting into your own if that's something that you're looking into. The only thing that I amend to this mix when it comes to my smaller plants or stuff that I'm looking to root up, I use my Rousseau Healthy Root. I believe this is a kelp mix. Yeah, humilic acid, kelp, and a little bit of magic. I totally believe that. But it should help with the smaller anthurium or cuttings root up and really get a kickstart. That's my current fertilizer mix. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. I'm definitely looking to experiment a little bit when it comes to adding in different things. I know Nick from NXC Plants has a lot of success when it comes to adding folic acid to the mix. That really helps with the nutrient uptake for the plants. If I can find a source that's relatively cheap, I may start adding that to my plant mix. I'm also looking into adding in some Super Thrive or another kelp mix regularly. I know, this Rousseau Healthy Root would kind of go very quickly, so maybe a Super Thrive, maybe something else that's a kelp derivative. But yeah, that's my plant mix. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. I'll try to answer them as best as possible. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell. Thanks for chatting. Have a good one.